Each week, we will discuss they discuss the 6 different areas of literacy development. And I'm just going to run through those really fast. It's concept of print, writing, phonological awareness, letter and sound knowledge, comprehension, and oral language. We sent out last week in our week 1 packet, I sent out a definition of each of those. You should have those in your week 1 session or your session 1 packet. This week is session 2. You're going to be using the gift card that's in your packet and also the 3 file folders that's in the packet. So the activities this week are pretty cool. You get to play games. If there are any questions right now, we'll take questions. You can unmute yourself and ask if you want, or just type it in the chat box. No questions at this time. Then we're going to start with the video. That's what we do. We have a welcome, a video, then we'll go into the activities, and then we'll have more questions and answers at time. And then we're going to share, hopefully share activities from last week if you did those with your children. So without further ado, we're going to start the video now.
The activities I'll talk about today fit right into the time that families typically spend together in the living room. I will highlight some ideas that might already be part of your family's time in this room and suggest a few more ideas that you might want to consider. One of the most important ways to promote literacy in the living room is to make sure your living room has plenty of materials for writing, drawing, and reading. To encourage my own children to write, I like to keep a box or basket handy with lots of different kinds of paper and writing utensils. I don't know about your house, but I seem to get inundated with all types of mail, such as catalogs, junk mail, and other advertisements. Though we may not have a need for most of this material, our children can put it to good use. For example, they can use it as a surface for writing or cut out pictures to use in their writing drawing creations. If your children still struggle with keeping their writing and drawing on their paper, consider using magnetic doodle boards, markers that only work on certain papers, gel boards, and other materials that won't write where you don't want them to. I also like to keep reading materials in my living room. Newspapers, magazines, flyers, and books are likely to get more attention if they are sitting out on a coffee table. I like to put some children's books in a basket or 2 in the living room to encourage reading. I find that if I have them nearby and have the covers peeking out, that they are much more likely to be used than if they're tucked away on a shelf. I think the living room is an ideal setting for some of the performance ideas that will support literacy development. These activities include singing, storytelling, and puppetry. Because music plays an important role in my family, singing is first on my list. But you don't have to have a musician in your family to sing together. Singing songs, even if they're off-key, has special benefits for literacy because the singing encourages children to pay attention to sound, rhythm, rhyme, and vocabulary. The next type of performance I want to suggest is storytelling. I can think of a variety of ways families naturally engage in storytelling. It seems as if every family has a special family member who is a real character. Does anyone in your family come to mind? You probably love to recall that person and be reminded of the things that he or she did that were so remarkable. Does your child get to hear those stories? Listening to family stories is a great way to build your child's awareness of characters, events, and actions. Looking at photo albums can be a wonderful way to encourage a story. Perhaps your child loves having you recall moments about your child's early years. Maybe your child loves to be the storyteller. Letting your child tell a story about events that have happened to him or her has significant advantages for literacy. It allows your child to hold the stage, so to speak, and communicate a message to others in a more planned way. Even the youngest storyteller becomes aware that the audience needs to have a clearly communicated message. Learning to recall events, add details, and maintain interest from an audience will be a great support to your child's later reading and writing. A third type of performance activity you might try in the living room is storytelling with the use of puppets or props. This may not be a common activity in your house, but it can make your family's storytelling really come alive. Children often find that puppets or other props give some support in retelling a favorite story. And what about that big rectangular screen that usually occupies a central spot in our living rooms and that often competes for our time and attention? You're probably wondering how the TV fits into all this living room literacy work. Used wisely, television can help promote literacy development. Here are a few tips for making television work for your child's literacy. 1, choose programs carefully. 2, watch the show together. 3, talk during the show to find out what your child is understanding and wondering about. 4, mute the commercials so you can keep discussing what was happening in the show. 5, limit the amount of time your child spends in front of the TV to less than 2 hours per day. Let's pause for a moment to discuss each tip and why it's important.
All right, can anybody add anything, or does anybody have anything to share about these 5 tips? Why is it important to limit the amount of time that our children spend in front of the television? Anybody have anything? No? All right. Then we'll move on. Thank you.
I've already talked about children's development of concepts of print, such as understanding the direction we read print, how print represents words, that books have different parts, and so on. Now I want to share some important ideas about young children's writing development. You may be wondering, what is she thinking? Writing at this age? Yes, writing, like all language areas, has a long developmental path that children follow. Just as your child began to speak through sounds, gestures, single words, and later sentences, your child will go through a variety of stages of writing that you might not think of as writing. Your child's original drawings are the first ways he or she puts thoughts and ideas on paper. Those drawings reflect a type of composing that is like what writers have to do. Asking your child to tell you about the drawing extends the composing process. Another stage of writing development many children go through is a scribbling stage. Their writing looks like squiggly lines across a page, but to the young author, this is a way of saying something. Later on, the writing may take another form. In this example, see how the writing is less like scribbles and more like letters? Eventually, children will start remembering which letters represent important words, as in M for mom. And with practice, children will start writing letters for some of the sounds in words. Don't worry if your child is not spelling words correctly. We don't expect that until well into schooling. For preschoolers, listening to sounds in words and trying to represent them as they sound is great. So encourage your child to compose, whether that's drawing, scribbling, letter-like shapes, or strings of actual letters. Proudly display those masterpieces throughout your home. Let's take a look at how a few families engage in literacy activities in their living rooms. Keep in mind that you can try these activities anywhere in your home, as you read, write, or talk together, or even watch TV. In this clip, watch as Melissa engages Ty in fun, meaningful literacy activities, singing together, engaging in writing a birthday card, and using oral language to discuss a family photo.
Swirl, swirl, shake your bushy tail. Pull between your toes, wrinkle up your little nose. Swirl, swirl, shake your bushy tail.
We're going to make a birthday card for your little baby cousin Jude, okay? And this is how we write his name. I'll write the letters, and then you can do it right under my letters, okay? This is a J, and it's got a little curve at the bottom, and a line across the top, just like your T, right? And then here's a U with a loop, and then it's got a little tail. And then the D is a little circle, and the line starts up at the top. And the E is kind of tricky. Verb line and then with the
Very good. Now can you make a U, just like this one next to it? I think now. Mm-hmm. Mommy? Yep. Good, very good. Can you tell me who these people are in this picture? Who's this one? Mommy. Mommy. Who's that one? There too, yeah.
Natasha and Isabella also like to sing. Singing can help with language development, for example, by developing children's vocabulary and helping them recognize rhyming words. Notice how Natasha uses hand motion, fun, and keep Isabella engaged.
Sitting on a speckled log, eating the most delicious. Jumped into the pool. It was nice and cool. Now there are only, how many? 5, 4, 3 speckled frogs. Speckled frogs sitting on a speckled log, the most delicious. Glub, glub. Glub, glub. One jumped into the pool. Now there is only one speckled frog.
In this clip, watch as Davy, Ella, and Lola discuss how to play a game. Notice that Davy asks Lola questions that help her discover how the game works and develop her comprehension.
This is the direction. I understand that this side is for this game and this side is for another game.
You got it. Now, on his return, a player tosses all 4 yellow cubes. The player looks at the letters on the cubes and on the board. He moves forward to the nearest space with the matching letters.
It has to be the closest.
The closest, Ella's right. Lola, these are capital A, E, H, P. Where do you see a lowercase a, E, H, or P? Look close to the start space. Start here. Do you see an A nearby?
I know where one exists.
Good, you know your E's. You're right. So here's E, capital E and lowercase e. We got to think about these 4 too. Do you see any of these 3? What about, remember, these go in the order of the alphabet. I don't even think we noticed that yet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A. The very first spot is A. Yes, so that's where you would go, because that's the closest.
Okay.
Okay?
So I'm right here.
You got it.
Texting is something that many children see happening on a regular basis. In this clip, notice how Jose helps Angel be a part of the writing process, both by typing what Angel says and allowing Angel to do some of his own typing. Then, take a look at how Jose uses a photograph to help Angel tell a story.
Okay, vamos a mandar un mensaje. Ahí. Mensaje corto. ¿Qué quiere decir, hermano? Ok, vamos a escribir, hermano. Y estamos. No, ¿quieres corregir? Estamos en casa. ¿Qué más? No. Ahí está. Ahí muy bien.
Tienes que corregir.
Ok, ahí. ¿Quieres borrar la U?
Solo la U.
Ok, ya.
Así.
¿Qué quieres decir?
Casa
En la casa azul, otra U. Ahí está.
Eso es.
Azul. Y ahora la L. Te queremos mucho.
Esas son las únicas palabras de mi escuela.
Sí.
Queremos mucho.
Te queremos mucho. Oh, mira. ¿Quién está en esta foto, Ángel?
Abuelo José.
Sí.
Abuelo Lucy. Yo.
Con tu sombrero de señor. ¿Y dónde está? ¿Dónde están ustedes?
Ahí.
¿En qué ciudad?
Salamanca.
Sí, están en Salamanca, sí, es la policía. Okay.
Grace, like many children, likes to watch TV. In this clip, notice how Brian talks with her as they watch a video, asking her questions and making comments to prompt her to think more about the meaning of the story. Then, at the end, he helps her to retell the story. This is great for her comprehension development.
Is your mama a llama? See the back of her hair? See the llama? It's a cute llama, huh? Wanna watch this movie?
Yeah.
All right. What animals do you see?
Is your mom a llama?
Yes, the bird with his mama was a llama. What did he say? Yeah. What's that? It's an egg. What do you say? What do you say Jane's mama is? What does Jane look like? Baby cow. Let's see. Let's see what. Let's see what his mama.
That's what a mama would do.
Mama say no. No.
I understand now. I think that your mama must be a
Cow.
and this is
The end. Was that a good movie? That was a pretty good one, huh? That llama was looking for his mama. What other animals did he see when he was looking for his mama? Kangaroo? Yeah. But then at the end, what did he find? What did he find at the end? His mama. He did. And his mama was a. What was his mama? His mama wasn't a kangaroo. What was his mama? A llama? It was a llama. Cool, huh?
All right, so now is the time that we're gonna, does anybody have any questions about the video first before we move on? Okay, we're gonna go move on to the activities for this week's session, and Sharon is gonna walk us through those.
Okay, we first want to see if anyone had any activities they wanted to share that they completed with their families from last week.
Okay, we can do that first.
Yeah, did anyone want to share something that they made with their child during last week? We'd love to see it.
Or tell us how it went.
You can unmute yourself if you'd like to do that. Well, no. Oh, I hear someone.
Oh, yeah. We did the animal picture one, but we also look for fun facts of each animal. And that was pretty interesting.
Oh, that's good.
Very great. How did your child like that?
Pretty good. Especially we learned a little bit more about the animals. So she liked it a lot.
Very cool. Was there one specific animal that she liked more than the other?
The penguins.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Awesome.
for sharing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is there anyone else who wants to share one of the activities they did? All right. Well, we can always share at the end too. So if you change your mind, let us know. All right, I'm going to start with the activities for this week. All right, so the first one, you're going to need your second bookmark. So this is the bookmark that we're using this week, and you can use this all through the week. This is the Show Me bookmark. And what it has on it is instructions on how to talk about the different parts of a book. So when you're reading a book, it's good to help your child learn those parts because it helps with concepts of print. Sorry about that. All right, so on the bookmark, it tells you, it gives you reminders on what you need to ask the children. So you would say, show me the front of the book. So this is the front, and they're not going to know it right away. You can start out by telling them this is the front of the book, and show me the back of the book. And what is the name of the author? You can point that out. And what is the title of the book if you give the mouse a cookie? And then when you open it, you can turn to the first page and ask them, where do you think we start reading? Where are the words on the page? So you can point, if they don't know, you can point that out to them. And so this will just start getting them to know the different ways books work. All right, so that's the first activity. Right. And in phonological awareness, we have the rhyming memory game. And you're gonna look for your cards that look like this. And you can have your child color them. There's a few pages. I cut most of them out. But you can have them color it and then cut them out. And what you're gonna do with these is you're gonna take the cards and you're gonna spread them out on the table. It's kind of like, let's see. So you're gonna have your child take turns choosing a card. So you lay them out on the table because you're looking for rhyming words. So you have them turn over one card and tell you what the picture is. So let's say that we turned over this one. So what is that picture? Probably hard to see from here, but it's a bat. So leave it up and then have them choose another card. They're gonna see if it's gonna rhyme or not rhyme. So I found this picture, it's a goat. So then you'll say bat, goat. Are those rhyming words? And those are not, but if they were rhyming words, if they did rhyme, then they get to keep both cards in their pile. So, and then it would be your turn to do it, and you would try to find rhyming words. So it's just a fun game, and you can use all the cards or part of the cards. It depends on what level your child is at, if they can want to do all the cards or just some of them.
A good way to describe rhyming words is they sound alike, like bat and cat and hat. They have the same at the end. You just have to say, do they sound alike? Mm-hmm. And they'll eventually understand that rhyming means that they have the same sounds.
Right. All right. The third activity is an oral language, and that is sorting and labeling. So we have more picture cards, and you'll see that most of them have to do with something that's in the home. We have a chair, we have a bed, a dresser, a crib, a table, and a lamp. So you would cut these cards out or have your child, if they're really good at cutting, and then you would have them in a pile on the table. And what you will do is you'll have categories. So here, where's the direction we go for that one? Thought I have one. Oh, I have it on the paper. All right, so then you're gonna sort them into categories. You can use the ones on the paper, on this paper that has all the descriptions of how to play the game. You could sort them by room, where they belong, by size, if like something's big or something small. You can sort them by material that they're made of, wood, plastic, metal, the price, if they're expensive or inexpensive, or fun to use, or if they need to be plugged in. Like for instance, a lamp would need to be plugged in, but maybe a baby crib would not need to be plugged in. So just different sorting categories. Right, and then the fourth activity is for letter, sound, and knowledge. And that's where you're gonna need to use your folders.
Your file
manila file folders. So what you're going to do is you're going to glue the two pieces of the game into the file folder, and they're blank. You're going to write, what you're going to do is you're going to pick 10 letters because they don't want you to use too many letters at one time. I went ahead and wrote the capital and the lowercase, but you could just do capital or lowercase depending on where your child is developmentally. So then you also get some blank cards. You're going to cut the cards out, and on the cards you're going to write the same letters that you're going to have on your game board. So if you have 10 letters, you're also going to have the 10 letters here. So then you're going to need a game piece or 2 game pieces if you're going to play with the child. So I have a little bear. It's kind of small. You probably can't see it. You're going to put that on the start. And then you're going to have these letters upside down. So then they're going to pick a letter. And if they don't know the letter, then you're going to help them to know the letter and the sound. So this letter is I, and the letter I sounds like I, or it sounds like it. It has 2 different sounds. So then they're going to try to help their bear find the letter I, and that's where they're going to stop. And I've repeated the letters throughout the game board. So it's all the letters that are here, but they've been repeated on the game board.
We gave you 3 different game boards and 3 different manila folders. So you, on each game board, you should use different letters so that you can get all 26 letters of the alphabet in there.
Yeah, and it's probably better. I did write both letters, but I think it would be better probably just to write either upper or lower. They're probably not quite ready to have that, both the capital and the lowercase yet. All right, the next one is called, let me turn my page. It's for comprehension, and that's picture storytelling. So it's a set of pictures that you're going to help your child tell a story about the picture. You're going to help your child think of the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and the ending. I'm going to bring this picture up a little bit closer so you can see what's on it. And maybe I'll ask you the questions. And if you want to unmute yourself, you can tell me what you think. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up closer. All right, so here's a picture. And I'm going to ask, and if you want to tell me the answer of what you think, then you can unmute yourself. Okay, who is in the story? Anyone want to answer?
A brother and a baby sister.
Thank you. Where are they?
In the kitchen.
Oh, thank you. What is the problem?
It looks like the baby spilled its food all over it.
Yeah, I think so. How do you think they can solve the problem? Anyone? I don't know, maybe the brother could go get the mom, or maybe the brother could get a little towel and help the brother clean his face. Could be. And what happens in the end? What do you think happens at the end of the story?
That's good. She's all clean.
Yeah, the baby's all clean, and the brother maybe helps him get out of the high chair, and they go play and they live happily ever after.
Yep.
That could be what happens. So there's lots of these cards in here, and you can help your child tell a story with the cards. And it just increases their vocabulary and understanding of stories and how they go.
Right. And the fun thing about these is every time you use them, the story could be different. You know, it doesn't always have to be the same story.
Exactly. All right. And the last activity is a gift tag. So we've included this little gift tag in your packet. And what you're going to do is you're going to let your child decide if he wants to make a gift tag for someone else, or if they want to use the gift tag to put on one of their belongings, like maybe a bag or maybe even their pencil box. They could even, maybe if you made the pencil box last week, they could maybe put it on there. So what they're going to do is practice their writing with this tag. So they could write, if it's a gift tag for someone, they can write to mom or to dad, and then maybe draw a picture on the backside. Or if it's for something that belongs to them, they could just write Joey's or Susie's or whoever it is. And then you could help them hang it. And then if you wanted to make more, you could just trace the tag and maybe make more. So just a fun way to increase their writing. That could be like in the box the lady talked about having in the living room, or them to just have spontaneous writing activities whenever they would want to do that. And that's our activities for this week.
We forgot to include this paper. It's called Writing Tips, 6 ways to help your child write and things to talk about as you write. I will email these. When you guys fill out the Google form at the end, we'll have your emails, so I can make sure you fill that out for us. And I'll send this via email to you guys so that you can have them. But it just says, praise your child as he or she writes a message using the picture, scribbles, letters, or words. Have your child dictate what he or she wants to say and show your child how you slowly say the words, listening for the sounds as you write them. Write your child's message in a light colored pencil or marker and have him or her trace the letters in a darker color. Make a line for each word your child wants to write, and then have your child write letters to represent the sounds in the words. It's okay if he or she only hears a sound or two in each at first. Make a line for each word that your child says or that your child wants to write, and then have them write the letters that represent the sounds for the best, represent the sounds to the best of his or her ability. And note that the focus is on representing each sound, not correct spelling, and that many words have fewer sounds than letters. Help your child say words slowly and write down the sound that he or she hears. And then things to talk about as you write. Words are usually made up of 2 or more letters squished together with spaces on either side. You can count the number of words in a sentence by touching each one and jumping your finger over the spaces. And individual letters are inside words. You can count the number of letters in a word, starting with the first letter and then ending when you get to the space. But I'll email this to you guys at the end sometime today. Does anybody want to share any other activities that they did last week with their children? Any of the activities that we went over?
My son likes to play with the finger plays.
Oh, good. Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome. Which one was his favorite?
Little Rabbit.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
That's awesome. I know somebody emailed me. I don't remember who it was now that I think about it, but they asked me for links. You can go on YouTube and search those finger plays, and you can get the songs that go with them in the tune. But I sent those out, to that one person. But if you want to do that, go to YouTube and just type in the name of the finger play, and you can. There are a ton of them come up, so you guys can do that together. Well, that's cool. Awesome. Anybody else want to share? Nope. Okie dokie. Well, I think that wraps up this week's session. If you guys don't have any other questions, then we're going to go ahead and send out, I think Sarah already sent out the Google form. Please fill it out to the best of your ability. We're going to use that to pick the winners for this week. And also I will use the addresses, the email addresses to send this one form out. There's no other questions or comments? Go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, just my baby wants to, I know if he can tell you the story of the 3 little pigs though, but the only thing is that she knows is in Spanish only.
Okay.
That's okay.
Well, that's okay.
We would love to hear it.
Yep.
Okay.
Te están escuchando. Vaya, cuéntaselo. Vaya, cuéntaselas. ¿Cómo es la historia? Ajá.
She speaks little slow also.
That's awesome. She's doing it. That's awesome.
She's just okay. Dile.
Empieza.
It's just fixing the things.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Empieza. ¿Te están escuchando aquí? Ajá.
¿Qué pasó entonces? I think she gets a little bit shy.
Entonces, llegó el lobo. ¿Y cómo le hizo a la casa? Dile, ¿cómo le hizo a la casa?
Así.
Y sopló y sopló. Y se cayó la casa. ¿Y después? ¿Y después qué pasó?
Se cayó. ¿Y después para dónde se fue el cerdito? Se fue corriendo. ¿Para dónde? Para donde estaba el otro cerdito. Sí. Y después llegó el lobo. ¿Dónde está el lobo? El lobo. ¿Y qué hizo? Sopló la casa. ¿Cómo le hizo? Pues.
Cuéntale tú lo último. Y salió corriendo.
Oh, where are they going? Oh, do that, Nelson. Oh,
no.
There they go. Hey.
Y entonces,
¿Y después qué
los
hizo?
cerditos se quedaron felices. Dile. Dile aquí para que te escuchen duro. Y el lobo se fue, dile. ¿Y el lobo? Y el lobo se fue, dile. Ajá. Y el lobo se fue.
Yeah.
Dígale.
Okay, maybe you can hear, but
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Good job.
like doing it, not talking.
That's great, but she's getting it. That's awesome. That's a great story. Great beginning.
But we got a video on the during the week. We took it a video. So, but she was telling the story and doing the story also.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Okay.
That's excellent.
What is her name?
Her name is Damaris.
Damaris?
Yeah.
You did a good job.
I did.
What school does she go to? What school does she go to? Who's her teacher?
Mariposa.
It's Mariposa in Lancaster, California.
Yes, Jasmine or Esmeralda?
Esmeralda.
Esmeralda, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, great. That's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much for sharing. We can't wait till next week. We want to see more next week. Okay.
Sí, se asustaron.
Estaban caminando y estaba caminando.
Now she started talking.
Of course, she's comfortable. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Again, please fill out the Google form so that we can get some feedback from you. And also we use your email to send out the writing tips and also to pick from our raffle for this week. We hope you guys have a great week. We will be here next Wednesday again at 9:30 for session 3. If you have any questions, please call us, send us an email. We're here, okay? Thank you so much. You guys have a great week. Thank you.